Hello YouTube, this is my second video and basically a follow-up to my previous video, The Greatest Chess Move, analyzing genius. And I hope at least some of you would have noticed that the moves that I did here aren't exactly foolproof. So what I did basically was sacrifice this bishop, the idea being similar to The Greatest Chess Move by Alexei Shirov, which is that Black's king is basically kind of tied to his defenses of the queen side, or if he tries to move towards the king side, then my king can move towards his queen side and take his pawns. And meanwhile, because of my king position, his bishop is also tied, so that he cannot just move over and take the pawns on the queen side. But as at least some of you might see, or after you analyze this, you might see that this isn't exactly full. And in a sense, that was also the point. Because see, we have this vague idea that geniuses are geniuses and whatever they touch, it's like Midas is gold. But that is not true. For example, we might think that Mozart, we have heard that Mozart started playing, composing at around when he was 5 years old. And so we kind of get this impression about geniuses like, oh, so since he was 5 years old, he was composing symphonies. But no, that is not true. When they start out, they are obviously mistakes. They are not great sounding or the greatest songs composed ever. But you start and you practice and you keep at it, and that is how things progress. But for the at least you will have to come up with something. You just can't sit there and have a nice, comfortable chess position and think, okay, that someday I might come up with a great move. It doesn't happen that way. You have to keep taking risks and you have to keep increasing your imagination. It's not that you are either born with it or not. Obviously, there is some genetic factor to it, but overall, it's practice. A lot of, and that is what intuition is. Intuition is a lot of practice that generates ideas. And so, before I sign this off, I would like to have a couple of quotes by the great master of intuition and chess himself, Mikhail Tal. And Tal says about one of his very strange looking peace sacrifices. Now, I somehow realized that it was not possible to calculate all the variations, and that the knight sacrifice was, by its very nature, purely intuitive. And since it promised an interesting game, I could not refrain making it. And that, in a way, sums it up. It's not that he was fully aware of every move. Obviously, we sometimes think, and which is true, that grandmasters can see 20 moves, 30 moves ahead, but that's not always and not for everyone. In fact, Mikhail Tal is considered one of the geniuses of the attacking and imaginative game. And as you can see here, even he was not sure of this particular sacrifice at least. But he had a developed intuition because he had played like this for years now. This is one of his later games. And eventually your intuition starts developing by what you are doing. And as as the last one sentence is, it's not even about winning or losing for him anymore. It's basically that just that he found the game interesting and he made it. He was not the kind of guy who would have taken a dull win. An interesting loss is better than a dull win. And on that note, I would just give another quote by the great Mikhail Tal himself, wherein he says, there are two types of sacrifices, correct ones and mine. Thank you.